want to start out this week with a bit of a story or analogy. I don't know if you've ever been at the airport and coming towards the front of the line in those enormous zigzagging lines coming up to security where you check your bags in, and you can be there. When I was going on my honeymoon, we were leaving Brisbane, going to Melbourne, that trip was, to then go on to Tasmania. But we were doing the Brisbane to Melbourne flight at 8:30 a.m. on a Monday morning, which I didn't realise was an extremely busy time. So I'm there with my usual hour and a half time gap early with my new wife, Joy, at that time. But it was nowhere near enough time for the amount of people that are in the airport. Anyway, the lines were enormous. It took us about an hour plus to go through to the point of checking in our bags, and everybody was on flight time similar to us, so we couldn't skip, and that's just the way that it goes. But how many of us have been in similar situations? There's a hilarious phenomenon that occurs at airports in situations like that, and it's that no matter how long gentlemen seem to have while they're waiting there, right? We might be waiting there for an hour, 50 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is. No matter how long we have, we get up to the front and we realize we're next in line, and we're rushed and we're stressed and we're anxious. And when they call us forwards to the desk, we're scrambling over the paperwork and the passport and the tickets and the visa. Maybe it's an international flight. All these things. We seem to do that. Get all flustered at the last minute, and there's no reason for it. We just had an hour to prepare. The reality is that always seems to happen. I find it funny now watching guys do this ahead of me in line as they sort of get called on and then start stressing out about getting ready. Here's what's going on there. We're in line, we're waiting, things are taking a long time, we want it to pass, we want it to be over, we want to be at the end of the line already. But with our actions, we're actually displaying that we don't believe we're going to get to the end of the line, and we're going to actually be called up ahead to check our bags. What happens is that we, in that moment when we're rushing to get things ready because we didn't use the time prior to be prepared, we're going to miss something. There's going to be things that we overlook, that we are not prepared or organized as we ought to be because we didn't take the time. This speaks to a larger habit and pattern that goes on in the lives of men in our world. And it's that we assume that we can be prepared for something, or we can prepare for something at the moment that the call comes. And this feeds into a lot of what it means to be a man. Most men live today as if, right, they might say, well, I'm not married yet. I don't need to think about getting married. I'll get prepared for marriage when marriage is just around the corner. And like these guys at the airport line, our name is called on, we're unprepared because we didn't take the time prior to get prepared. Or we young men might think, I'm not an adult yet, I'm still a teenager, so I don't have to think about being an adult yet. I'm not a father yet. Probably a bunch of guys watching this, you're not a father yet. What business do you have thinking about fatherhood and being a father? Guys might think, I'm not employed yet, I'm still young, or I'm not stepping into my career yet. Why do I have to think about being employed? I'm not a homeowner yet. Why do I need to think about taxes, land taxes, sales, mortgages, refinancing, all that sort of thing? Why do I need to think about it? I'm not a leader yet, somebody might say. Why do I need to learn about being a leader? I'm not sexually active yet. Why do I need to be thinking about sexual activity and purity and fighting lusts and all of this sort of thing? I'm not at this moment, somebody might say, engaging with other people in a defense for my faith, giving apologetics, evangelizing to those who have different worldviews to me. I don't have to do that yet. Why do I need to think about doing that yet? What this is, this terrible habit that we have is that it leads into, instead of preparing young men for adulthood, instead of being prepared ourselves for what is to come, we're assuming we'll be able to sort it out once we get there. Like the guy at the airport. Once I get to the front of the line, I'll get all my things organized. Some people just have so much disorganization as we think about living as men. They would be more akin to an example of a man getting to the front of the line and then thinking at that moment he can apply for his passport or he can book a ticket. Now, those things are supposed to be done by the time you get there so that when the call comes, you can step into what you need to do rather than try and get prepared.